Alright, so today we're going to try to do a real simple model on the utility sector. So let's start with the RAY function again, which is the Russell 3000. Hit your F10 button to get the index. And hit enter. So you got RAY up there. And then we'll go down to number 6, which is member weightings. And once that loads, we'll click on add a column, and we'll add GICs. Oops, I just typed it, GICs. Sector names, because utilities are sectors, that makes it a pretty easy one. I'm going to go and delete some rows here. You can actually right click and just say delete column, delete column. All we need is the ticker, the name, and the GIC sector. That's all we need. So you can just bring those in. So ticker, name, and GIC sector. And I'm going to do the output in Excel. You might get a little bit of an error message in Excel, but that's all right. Just click yes when it comes up.
Accounts payable. June's paying remains accounts payable right now. So we wouldn't want to put that there. That's wrong. We want to put the cost of goods sold as the additional purchases.
All right. So y'all this far.
Add in cost of goods sold, and then that's the new.
And I'm going to actually delete anything that's not utilities, and it gets really easy here because utilities we know is the last thing there, so I can just go to the bottom
200,
and then just come up till I get to the top utilities. So I did the shift control down arrow, and then I let up in the control arrow and did the up arrow until I got to the bottom of telecom. I did the top of utilities. So now I've got all my utility stocks, and I'm going to delete column C, D, and E because we don't need this, and we really don't need column F either. We know they're all utilities. So all we need, we can delete everything except for the ticker and the name. And then I'm going to actually, I'm going to give us 3 extra rows at the top. So I'm going to select 1, 2, and 3, and then right click and insert, just so we have a little bit more room to work with. So here's all our utility stocks. It looks like we have about 84 of them, so that's good. That's a good number of stocks. And so what we want to do is we want to bring in the EVA spread for this. So what we can do is click on the Bloomberg, find fields, and just type EVA spread. And hit enter. And it actually will say WAC underscore EVA spread. Add that. And the second thing we want to add is debt to equity. So if we type debt to equity, hit enter. Total debt to equity, that's the very, very first one from you. And then the last one is price to book. The reason you use price to book for utilities is they have a lot of property plant equipment. So it's a good ratio to use for them. So then I'm just going to apply, and those all 3 should come over. So you should have a column that says WAC underscore EVA underscore spread. A column that says tote underscore debt, tote underscore 2 underscore tote underscore EQY. And one that says PX underscore 2 underscore book underscore ratio.
So 5.2 million is what we need.
All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to bring these in. Y'all remember the function? It's equal E 200 D P, open parentheses, go over and find your A, and hit the F4 3 times to lock in the A, or A5, and then go up to C4, hit your F4 twice, lock in the 4, close parentheses, hit enter. I'm going to go to the home key. I'm going to change this to a comma so it doesn't have all those decimals, and then I'm going to copy it down and copy it across. So all 3 columns. So what I did is I did Control Shift down arrow, and then Control C, and then the Shift arrow and arrow cursor over right, but using the right arrow to fill in those 3 columns, and I've got all my numbers. Now we're going to have a few NAs, but not too many. So we got a pretty clean batch here. I don't know if you are seeing that we just have a couple of NAs. since we only have a couple of NAs, why don't we just go ahead and delete those companies?
Okay.
I got Turp doesn't have data, so I'm just gonna delete that
Make
company.
a sale, okay? We'll get-
And then down at the bottom,
Yes, where else do we book it?
Atlantic Power
Deduction.
doesn't have a price to book for some reason,
So
and delete that. I don't see, do y'all see any others?
We have to.
Looks pretty clean, doesn't it? Are y'all up with me there?
Right?
Yes.
Yeah, it looks pretty
So like as the asset has to have a counter
Right.
that's being deducted.
So
Right?
what we're going to do
Yes.
is we're going to rank them. So we're going to rank
Yeah, okay.
the EVA spread, we're going to
I
rank
don't know what to do, but I feel like.
Debt to equity?
There's like something we're not remembering or doing.
and then we're going to do a weighted rank,
And then just walk in and say.
and then we're going to
I've got the answer sheet. but-
rank the weighted,
Yeah.
and then we're going to rank price to book. So those are the columns we're headed for. So the very first column, column F now, we want to do the EVA rank, then we want to rank the debt to equity, then we're going to combine them. We're actually going to do a weighted rank, and I'm going to show you how we can do that in a way that's going to give us a little bit more power than what we were doing in earlier ones. And then once we do that, we'll re-rank those weighted, so we have actually a number 1 to a number 84. And then we'll rank the price to book, and we'll just compare the two. So if y'all remember the function, since we got rid of all the errors, we shouldn't have to do the if error function. But let's do it anyway, just to be careful. So we'll do if error, open parentheses, rank, open parentheses, and then go over to the very first EVA spread, comma, oops, I forgot the equal sign, so don't forget to do that. So go over to the EVA, first EVA, and then comma, and go back to it again. Hit your shift, control, down arrow. Hit your F4 key twice to lock in the rows. Comma, here we want to do 0 because we want it descending. Close parentheses, comma. So what we're going to say, if they don't have the data, we'll just make them number 85. So comma 85, we'll put them in the last place. So you can just copy that down. So you can see how this one, 197, is much better than -0.4. So it's ranked higher. Here's a really strong one here. An EVA spread of 7.93. That's a really high EVA spread, so the rank number 7, so that looked good. We can now copy that very first one over to do the debt to equity, except for debt to equity, we want it to be if error rank the debt to equity, but instead of comma 0, we want it to be comma 1. We want it to be ascending because higher debt to equities is bad, so we want to rank lower. So in that one, we'll do the comma 1. So you'll see the only difference between those two columns is one has the rank uses comma 0, and the other one uses the rank uses comma 1. Now we're going to do the weighted rank. So I'm going to pause the video here, and y'all make sure everybody's caught up with me.